Thanks so much, Aaron. My name is Adam Lansky. I'm a resident of Little Rock, and it's an honor to be here with everybody tonight discussing how we can affect our country for the better, right? Regardless of my leadership experience or lack thereof, if what I say is true and will help us all achieve the goals that we are here to achieve today, on Saturday, in the future, then it doesn't matter where I've been or what I've done, right? So before I talk here, if I say men in the context of my discussion, I'm not referring specifically to males. I'm referring to men, women as resources to achieve our objectives. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, tight. Also, before I begin, some of my concepts that I'll be discussing are taken from this book, Military Leadership, issued 1973. Although this is not a military operation, and although this book is approaching 40 years old, it still does have some very poignant ideas that I will be quoting myself from my notes, okay? So if anyone is interested in getting this book or books like this, check eBay, half.com, bookstore, what have you, okay? So, leadership basics. This march and occupation that's going on is not about us as individuals. It's not even about us as a group. Essentially, it is about an idea. And we are all here today because we are trying to get an idea from our minds into what we call this collective reality known as planet Earth, right? So, although there has been some conflict in the past regarding what is our mission statement, what exactly do we want to say, however we want to color it right now in this moment, the truth of what we're asking for is a social restructuring in a manner and a redistribution of wealth and power. Whether or not we think the bank and auto market bailout money should be given back to the public for our education systems, or collusion laws need to be enforced, or prosecuting war profiteering, these are all crimes that we are victims of as citizens of this country, okay? It's about holding accountability. It's about holding the government accountable and these banks accountable, right? So right now, what we are talking about is marching and occupying. And in executing these actions, we are the vessels of this idea. The reason that Occupy LR exists is because we are all out here right now talking about it. So embodying this idea involves putting the needs of this mission before our personal biases, before our egos, and possibly even, in the not-so-distant future, our own physical well-being. And we need to motivate each other to act towards these common goals if we wish to succeed, because no one else is going to motivate us to do so, correct? So, getting back to leadership here. I'll try and be as brief as possible. I understand we're on a time limit. Does anyone have a timer so I don't just talk forever? Let me know. Okay. So the ultimate objective of leadership is always the successful accomplishment of the mission. In striving to achieve the goal, we must accept full personal responsibility for our decisions and continually assess the situational environment. So there's a difference between command functions and leadership, okay? Command, simply put, is the authority a person exercises over teammates to execute specific actions. For example, our facilitators have command, okay? Management is the process of planning, organizing, coordinating, and directing resources, as in men, material, time, and money, to accomplish the mission, okay? But leadership itself is the process of influencing men in such a manner as to accomplish the mission. I admire this infant's passion. So personality traits that we need to begin to make a daily part of our personalities are unselfishness, endurance, initiative, enthusiasm, justice, tact, courage, discipline. They go on and on. But these are things that if we are, as individuals, not exercising on a day-to-day basis, how can we expect to get anywhere? How can we expect respect from anybody? Okay? Thank you very much. We need to lead by example, and being a good leader involves being a good follower as well. What I'm talking about is we need to remain focused on our goals and not be necessarily so caught up in procedural things or caught up in minute details, because again, the goal is the march, is the occupation. If we have our attitudes all aligned towards this, then things will automatically fall into place. What is an attitude? A person's feelings towards something expressed in likes and dislikes. The whole collection of one's beliefs, opinions, prejudices, and sentiments. Attitudes are learned from others or caused by emotional experiences and make up a frame of reference for our actions. He has a bad attitude right now. Ways to cultivate a good attitude amongst teammates. Provide factual information to someone that has a misconception about something. Show concern with an act of kindness or by listening to someone that's frustrated. Allow discussion between all involved in the project and listen more than speaking. When the leader is alert, attentive, and demonstrates a sincere interest and willingness to understand not only what is said, but not only what is said, but what is not said, he goes a long way towards building bridges of understanding. Like I said, if all our attitudes are set right towards our goals and each other, success is not only probable, but a simple inevitability. Negativity is a cancer. Negativity is a cancer. That's how we're going to destroy ourselves. That's how we're going to lose. 2 minutes? It needs to be avoided and eliminated from within ourselves. We must ignore our doubts and fears, rather channeling this into positive energy. It's natural for most people to be afraid of the unknown, something exciting like this march coming up. We need to take these negativities and turn that into energy that we can harness and put towards the objective, okay? Actions need to be taken to eliminate our fears. If you find yourself overwhelmed by the fear of being involved to the point that your negativity becomes uncontrollable, then do everyone a favor and remove yourself from the situation. And we need to cultivate a positive working environment. The only criticism that we need to be hearing from each other is constructive criticism. The effectiveness of leadership process can only be judged in terms of the results obtained. Accordingly, everything we should do should have its primary consideration in its effect on performance, okay? So we need to ask ourselves when we're posting on Facebook, when we're talking to each other out here, is what I am saying, is what I am doing helping us move towards this goal of the march, of the occupation? If it's not, then it belongs in a separate conversation, or again, if it's negativity, keep it to yourself. Change it, okay? We have a lot more power in our minds than we think to affect our attitudes and our perceptions of each other, of the situation, okay? I don't see as many people here as I have the last couple meetings, but I don't see that as a bad thing, because what's happening is we are one day at a time finding out who is really passionate and who is going to stand through everything that we go through. So I just have one more page and I'll wrap this up real quick. One more thing about teammates, this is actually really important. We must learn to recognize each other as resources, having individual abilities, limitations, and characteristics that are unique and often inflexible. There are certain tasks that are not for everyone, and we can't demand actions from people that are unable or even unwilling to perform them. Failure to recognize our teammates' strengths and weaknesses are going to lead to some serious problems with ineffectiveness, okay? So, in conclusion, if we want to achieve success on all levels of operation, we have to begin thinking, speaking, and acting like leaders. Thoughts become words, become actions. This is just like how our universe works in this part of the Milky Way, okay? Deal with it. This does not mean ordering each other around, but keeping our thoughts, words, and actions focused on the goals at hand. Like I said, Occupy LR is only an idea. It lives because we are together right now. We make this idea real. We are forging our reality by holding these discussions and marching on Saturday, okay? The project will be in a constant state of evolution, and as we achieve our short-term goals, more opportunities will present themselves and new movements will be coordinated. Hopefully, until we attain the social justice we demand as Americans, we can maintain this momentum. So please take my words to heart and discuss these with friends and foe alike. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. All right, next we're going to have Marie O'Connell from Donations. She's going to talk about the hard and soft donations and some t-shirt ideas that we're working on. So.